Hey guys, this is Terry with Futures.io. It is my honor to welcome Patrick Rooney from Trading Technologies for today's webinar, Hands-On with ADL. We had quite a bit of interest in ADL in the last Trading Technologies webinar that we decided to do today's webinar. The bullet points for today's webinar are: what is it, why it was created, and the evolution of drag and drop algo development; what can it do, practical applications; order type development, round robin algo functionality; quick design, test, deploy, proof of concept, and pre-API dev work; getting started with ADL, available support options, a live demonstration of building, testing, and deploying an algo, and then at the end we'll do a Q&A. Now, please feel free to type your questions in the questions box during the webinar, and we'll do our best to answer them at the end of the event. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do us a favor and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the webinar. And as always, please feel free to share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us a lot. Don't forget that you can now follow us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube at Futures.io. And without further delay, I'll hand it over to Patrick.
Hi everybody, this is Patrick Rooney with Trading Technologies, and I'm going to walk you through some ADL stuff real quick, show you a little bit of what we have going on with ADL. One of the things we want to talk about was how it actually came about. And oops, hold on, let me show my screen. I want to go to our Linux on our webpage real quick. ADL came about in the first place because Rick Lane, our CEO, is working for a prop shop here in town, and the traders in the prop shop wanted algos built. They wanted some automation built. So he would go in and build algos for them using C++ and other languages to actually get some stuff going for them. And he found whenever they wanted different algos, different changes, a lot of it was just copy and pasting code over to a certain extent because it was minor changes. It wasn't a big deal to it. So we kind of figured a way to actually build ADL, the Algo Design Lab, to actually take chunks of code and just allow traders to piece them together. So once he put that together, the traders at the prop shop really figured out and learned how to build their own algos without really any involvement from the engineering team, from Rick and the engineers at all. So we've kind of taken it out to a really more mass scale now and put that out in the general trading populace. So really anyone from the institutional down through the retail level trader can actually build their own algos and build their own automated trading functionality. Before I open up ADL itself, I just wanted to show some resources to it. A lot of people ask, how do I learn about ADL? How can I get around to learn about it in general? You can go to our external webpage, Trading Technologies, and under the Solutions tab, there is an Algo Trading section. Click on that. And scroll down to the bottom here. We have our resources. The Development Center, we won't touch that right now, but then we have a Community ADL. Community ADL is essentially a users forum, and it's a user forum that is specific to ADL users. There are a lot of ADL developers in there, either ADL developers with Trading Technologies, also outside consultants who get in there quite a bit as well, and they will answer questions. We'll answer them from TT, but then also outside people, outside algo experts will jump in and actually answer the questions as well. So if you've got a thought process and trying to figure something out, it's a really good resource. So go and type in questions, answer them, whatever you'd like to do. We also have an ADL help library. ADL help library walks you through everything as well too. We have an overview, and we have requirements, ADL designer, basic concepts, building blocks. Talked about all the different blocks we have. Here's a description of the order block, which you'll see in ADL in a second here. Gives you a very finite description of how the different blocks work, about how ADL and algo design in Trading Technologies works in general. All right, so I'm going to go through and open up ADL now. I'm going to type in trade.tt to get to the web page, and I'm already logged in, so it's going to take me right there. To get in here yourself, anyone can get in a demo for free. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to trade.tt. It'll ask you for your new account. Go in and enter in your email, and then it's going to ask, I believe it's all of 4 questions, and then from there you can log in. It's real quick, real easy, so I encourage you to do that. It's a very fun tool. I spend far too much time actually playing around with it, just building different algos, and it's essentially, if you like building puzzles, and if you've got a trade strategy that you like and you want to automate, you want to make it quicker, if you can write it down on a piece of paper, you can build an ADL, and that's really the way I generally go about it. I'll actually write it down, I'll piecemeal it through on a piece of paper with a flow chart, and then from there I'll build it in the Designer itself. Okay, if I'm logging in, I get to a workspace page like this. On the right here, you'll see it says ADL. I click on ADL. That's going to bring me to the Algo Design Lab. Looks just like this. I'm logging into it. You're going to see a series of blocks along here. These blocks are really, the majority of them are just chunks of code. It's chunks of code that's been tested in time travel through TT, through our customers for years and years and years. It's safe, it's solid. It makes it much easier, much faster to actually build your algos, essentially. So, first block on the plot is called an instrument block. Instrument block is going to allow me to declare an instrument for this algo. So I'm going to double click on it. I want to go with crude, so I'm going to take CL January 17, and I'm going to rename this from instrument. I'm going to call it just CONT for contract. I'm going to change this variable type from static. If I leave it static, this algo will only trade Jan 17 crude. I want to call this the order instrument. If I call it the order instrument, it'll change every time I pick a different contract. And I'm going to select an account. This is one of my demo accounts. And I'm in the delayed data environment, basically the demo environment right now. So if anyone out there gets the demo of the TT platform, you're in the exact same environment I'm in right now. And this is production level software. This is the same software that's being used in the field for live production trading. All right, so now I've got crude out. I'm going to pull out a field block. Field block allows me to declare what type of information I want from that contract. I can go to the field name and I can say I could ask price, ask quantity. I can get all this different information. Last traded price, high price, low price. What I'm doing right now, let's just get the ask price. I'm going to connect that over to the crude contract, and you'll see that I actually have the current ask price in the market. I want another one of these blocks now. Can get the bid price. Oops. Connect that on. Still ask. I double click on this. I can change it to the bid price. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to build an algo real quick that looks at the order book a little bit. So I'm going to go back and get some order book depth here. So I'm going to take another block, and to change this to ask quantity. And I'm actually going to make it, instead of the best, I'm going to say index. Index is going to allow me to control if I'm going to get the inside market, if I can go back in the order book. If I have an index of 0, that's the inside market. Index of 1, that's 1 tick back. And the same thing here, I'm going to get ask quantity for 1 tick back now as well. So I'm going to go to ask quantity, index, just like that. Now I need a number block to actually declare what this index is. And for the quantity one, I actually want this algo built off of the order book that's back a little bit, so I don't want the inside market. So I'm going to make this a depth of 1, which is going to be 1 tick off the inside market. I'm going to connect that to the index. I'm going to take crude contract, tick it up here. Now I've got the quantity on the offer 1 tick back from the inside market. Now I want to go back 2 ticks and change this to 2 ticks. Okay. And change this over here. I'm sorry. Click on the index, do the contract, drag it up here. Now I've got the quantity that's 2 ticks back. You can essentially build an MD trader. You can build a market DOM essentially in ADL doing this by putting in prices and quantities, so you can have an entire depth of market DOM basically running an MD trader or running your ADL. All right, so now I've got this on the ask side. I'm going to do it on the bid side as well, so I'm just going to copy this down. Paste. I'm going to drag this up. And just for sanity's sake, I'm going to change this to 1 here and 2 here. Okay. And change this to the bid quantity. And change this to the big quantity as well. Okay. And now for this algo, all I want to do is I want to look at the quantity that's offered in the book versus the quantity that's bid in the book. Going back a little bit, I got to get my contracts in here. Hold on. Contract. Contract. So now again, I'm looking at the inside market for the prices, and I'm looking at the next best bid and the next best offer and the second best bid, second best offer, the quantities there. All right, I'm going to add those two together. I'm going to add the bids and the offers together. I'm sorry, the bids on both sides, the second best bid and the third best bid quantity together like that. Copy and paste this up here. Same thing on the quantity side. Like that. And like that. And now I'm going to call this block the second and third ask quantity, like that. I'm going to call this the second and third bid quantity, just like that. So now I have those metrics going for me, and I want to compare these two. I basically want to see what I'm trying to gauge here is if I see a really big offer, if the offer gets much bigger in the back book than the bid does, I'm going to go ahead and jump in the inside of the offer side and offer the market base. I'm going to try to sell in front of that. Same thing the bid side. If the bid gets really big relative to the offer, I'm going to try and jump in front of that. So I'm going to take a divisor block right here, and I'm going to divide the second and third quantities by the second and third bids, just like that. And you can see it comes with a ratio. The ratio is straight. It's pretty high right now. There's much more offers and bids. WIP 1.5, 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rule to trade off of that now. I'm going to take an order block, just like this. It's going to be my sell side order block, so I can click on that, can switch this over from from a buy to a sell, like that. I have my contract. My contract, remember I changed that name down here to CONT because I'm going to create what's called a jump block real quick. Jump block, this guy right here, allows me to keep from putting these squiggly lines all over the place. So now basically the contract, I've used a jump block, that information is now moved over here, and I don't have lines like I have lines traveling along through here. Try and keep my designers clean by actually getting rid of as many of those lines as possible. So I'm creating a sell block for the contract of the Jan 17 crude. What price do I want to do that? What price do I want to offer? I want to offer at the inside market, so the best ask. So I'll take that over here. Actually, I'm going to create a jump block for this. We'll call this the ASK PRC, like that. Create a jump block. Copy over, paste. All right, now I have so I've got the block started. The June crude, or the Jan crude, I'm going to sell it at the offer. I'm going to offer at the offer. How many times do I want to do that? I don't know yet, so let's come up with a number. I'm going to come up with a number. Let's say I just want to do one contract. So I'm going to take a number block and call this 1. And I want to change this. By default, it's going to say static or variable type. I want to call this as the order quantity. That'll help me to define that order quantity on the fly. I'm going to create a jump block for it. Now I know I'm going fast. I'm covering a lot of stuff. I'm just trying to show you how easy it is to build these algos and how quickly you can get in there and do this. Order quantity. I'm going to take this jump block, paste. Now when do I actually want to turn this on and off? You can see down here in the block it has an on-off switch. Well, I don't want to necessarily do this just all the time, so I'm going to declare when I actually want to do this. Well, I'm going to look at this ratio, and off this ratio I'm going to say that if it is greater than 1.5, so basically the offer is 2 times as big as the bid, at least in the back of the book, that's when I'm going to execute that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a ratio block. I need 2 of these actually. I'm going to call this my sell ratio. Say this is 1.5. I'm going to make this user-defined. A user-defined variable, I can actually declare when I'm actually entering the order. When I launch the algo in TTW in a little bit, you'll see I'll have these configuration boxes, and this is one of them I'll be able to declare and say, do I want the ratio to be 1.5 or do I want it to be 2? I can change that then. All right, so this is the cell ratio. I'm going to make a jump block on that. A jump block, like this. I'm going to take this with me. Because what I want right now is if this divisor, which is the ask over bid, also create a jump block. I don't need a jump block for that really though. If the ask over the bid is greater than my cell ratio, which is 1.5, paste. So if my ratio is over 1.5, I want to go ahead and place that offer in. So if the ratio, if I have 1.5 times quantity offer in the back of the book, then I have bid in the back of the book, I'm going to go ahead and join the offer. So we have that. Now I'm going to create this on the buy side. From the buy side perspective, I'm going to need a ratio. I'm going to say the ratio is only 0.5. That buy ratio. Ratio. Jump block. Got that. I'll need that in just a moment. And now I'm going to create a buy block. I'm going to take my cell block. I'm going to paste it down here. I'm going to flip it from a cell. I can open it up, flip it from a cell to a buy, just like that. And now again, I've got my contract. Copy, paste. My price. In this case, I want to go at the inside bid. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to rename this as the bid PRC. Okay. Create a jump block. Copy. Paste. The quantity is going to be the same that I'm already using. Copy. Paste. And when do I want to turn this on? I want to turn this on when my ratio, my ask over bid, is now less than my buy ratio, so I'm going to get a less than block. I'm going to turn that on. And that essentially completes an order entry algo that's going to either buy or sell based off of the size of the order book in the back. I can now deploy this, I can send it, I can run it. One thing I didn't do that I want to remember to do is I actually want to go into this block and I'm going to click on ignore inputs after add. What ignore inputs after add does is if I don't click that, when the order book depth changes, it's going to pull that order. If I no longer have twice as much offer on this, twice as much size in the offer than doing the bid, it's going to pull that ask. It's going to pull that offer that I put out there. If I click the ignore inputs after add, it's going to leave that offer in there at the inside market, and I want to leave it in there. So once I get a big offer, I want to leave my offer in the market. Do the same on the bid side. Now, how about exit logic? Do I have some exit logic for it? Yeah, I can do that real quick too. The exit logic, in this case, I'm going to pull out the message extractor. I'm sorry, that's the wrong block. Pull up the value accumulator. Do I want the value accumulator? My exit block. I've got my number of quantities out. The message block. Right, that's what I want. I can't get it. There it is. Pull up the message extractor. I'm going to click the fills over the message extractor. And from here, I can go and declare what I want to pull out of there. I can click on the fill price. And I can click on the cumulative quantity. I'll just get the fill quantity right now. So now this block is going to spit out the fill price as well as the quantity that actually got filled. I'm going to do that down the bit side as well. So now if this block gets fired and fills up, it's going to go ahead and pull out the price and quantity. And then from there, what I'm going to want to do is I need the minimum tick. So on here, I need the minimum tick quantity, field block. Go down to the minimum tick. Okay. Now, how many ticks away do I actually want to get out of this market? Let's say I want to get out 2 ticks away. Take the minimum ticks times 2. Call this my profit block. So now I'm going to take my fill price on the cell. And what I want to do, I want to add that to, I'm sorry, I want to subtract that. I can take the fill price. Minus number of ticks, 2. Now after it sells, it's going to go ahead and put, I want to go in and put a buy order in 2 ticks below there. Order block. Contract. My quantity is going to be my fill quantity. This gets flipped over to the buy side. And I only want this in if my fill quantity is greater than 0. Pardon me? All right, don't do that. Okay. I'm going to put in my opposite side for this side of the order. Change this over to a cell. Again, take the contract over. My price is going to be my profit level. It's going to be my fill price plus my profit level. Quantity is my fill quantity. And that's it. Now you can continue to build on that and actually have stops in there as well too, but I'm not going to keep flowing through there, so we can get through this real quick. I can test this by actually clicking on the run. It's going to run through on the actual design lab now. And if I get any action this time of day, I may not get any action, so it's like, oh, I did. It's going to run through, and it actually shows that I'm working a sell order right now. If you saw a little bead wobble through here, that bead showed there's actually a message passing through from this buy block. So I bought the crude contracts, and I'm now working an offer to sell it out there. I bought it down at 52.43, so I'm working an offer out there at 52.45. So that was pretty nice. That didn't take long. Let me see if I can go pull this up actually in the trading app right now. I'm going to save this. Call it the Futures IO algo. Save. Go to File. Go to Deploy. Now I'm going to go back to the front end. Click on CL, TN, and there's the offer I've got working out there from the order before. So I'm going to click on CL. I'm going to go to Fed this time. And click on my drop down. You can see I've got an algo here. It's called Futures IO. That's the algo I just built. Just for those who haven't seen any trading before, these are exchange-defined orders. These are TT algos right here, essentially. We call them TT orders, but these are TT algos. The majority of these, this logic, Andrew can confirm this, these are basically built in ADL, correct?
No.
They were not, okay.
What sits underneath ADL is a programming language in C, a C++ API called TTSDK. ADL, as you're dragging and dropping blocks around the screen, the code that we're actually generating under the covers is actually TTSDK code. Again, it's a C++ API. The algos that TT has built, TT Bracket, TT Iceberg, etc., are built using TTSDK. And again, ADL is really just another way of writing to TTSDK. In this particular circumstance, you're just dragging and dropping blocks around the screen. Coming soon, actually, at the end of this year, early part of next year, we'll be releasing the TTSDK itself for public consumption. So that's something you can look forward to if that's something that interests you.
All right. Thank you very much, Andrew. I'm going to go ahead and launch the Futures IO algo that I built earlier. So I'm going to click on it. You see it gave me the sell ratio. I forgot to put a actual block. I forgot to put the buy side ratio in there as configurable, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and enter this order now. I'm going to start the algo, and I want to open up a order block so you see it first. This is the order book. These are any orders that I have working, and I'm going to open up an audit trail so you see it as well. Here's an audit trail, and I'm going to go ahead and start this algo. So I've got the Futures IO algo that is built. I can click anywhere in here, and it's going to start it up. And you'll see in the order book it just started up. So I have it, and I'm in there monitoring the marketplace as it is right now. The parent order is it hasn't issued any children because it hasn't sold anything yet. But this is the algo that fired earlier from the dashboard, the Algo Design Lab. Now I'm working an order in, I'm working an algo in crude, and again the same parameters sit out there. If the depth of the market back here gets really big, I'm going to join the inside market. If the bid gets exceptionally bigger than the offer, I'm going to join the bid, but if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. That's kind of where we're at. Got through that pretty quickly. Are there any questions thus far anyone want to ask about?
Yes. There used to be a limitation of the delayed environment that only allowed a certain number of price updates per second to be processed. Is that still the case?
That's correct, yes. It's actually not a limitation on the number of price updates. It's more a limitation on the number of price subscriptions. The delayed environment is something that we offer to people to allow you to kick the tires and find out if the product is right for you. If you've grown beyond the delayed environment, which I believe we limit you to, I believe it's 5 price subscriptions. If you're playing around in an algo and you need more than 5 price subscriptions, if you're kind of getting to that point, I would highly suggest you move into the simulation environment. Again, the simulation environment offers full live prices, and you can utilize as many price subscriptions as you want.
Okay. And then there's a question on when will we see an analytics block?
The analytics block is something we're actively working on. You can certainly look for that as a 2017 deliverable from us. It's going to be more feature rich than what we offer in 7X currently. We've gone back and rethought, took a lot of the commentary that we received on the 7X analytics block and are rebuilding it essentially from scratch. So you will be seeing that in 2017.
Okay. See. There's supposed to be a feature in the new TT of one algo controlling another algo. Can you show that?
Yes, there's a feature actually that we started to build. We actually put it on hold for the moment while we finish our performance work. But there is a feature actually coming soon in this product which will enable you, actually, Pat, if you open up the order block.
Yep.
If you go to ADL. Go to ADL.
Oh, go to ADL.
Yeah. So if you double click. So click on type where it says limits. Okay. Currently today, as you can see, the order block supports these order types. These are all Exchange native order types. What will be coming soon is the ability to select another algo in this particular drop-down. What that means is when this order block is active, in other words, when the input is true, effectively what we'll do is we'll launch another algo. The eventual goal is such that the inputs of this order block will match the inputs of your algo, and the outputs of the order block will match the outputs of the algo that you're driving. So yes, you will be able to utilize one algo to drive yet another one. As a matter of fact, you'll be able to drive as many of them as you like.
Okay. There's a question about the security of intellectual property in terms of creating an algo in the system. How do we know if the algo is successful? How do we know that someone with access to it at TT can't copy and paste and steal the idea?
All algos are encrypted at rest. The only person that actually has access to the algo is you. If you call into the support desk and say, I have a problem with an algo, the people on the support desk cannot access the algo. Engineering cannot access the algo. It's encrypted with your user information, and until you sign in, it can't be decrypted. So basically, it requires your credentials, your password in order for it to be decrypted.
Okay, perfect. Can algos be built on known or custom indicators? Say like using like a moving average crossover or something of that as an example?
We're going to be supporting the TT Analytics block, which will start out with our supported custom indicators.
Okay.
But then we will be expanding the TT Analytics block to include custom indicators as well.
As far as moving average crossover, I had someone else ask that. You can do that right now without the analytics block. We do have a moving average block in here. And I know, yeah, it's not that difficult to build a moving average algo right now. So that one, you have to ask, is easy to do. If you want to build stochastic, something like that, that gets a little more, you can do it, but it's much more difficult without the analytics block.
Okay. That's the idea I had, if price gets within certain, blah, 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 then execute. So, okay.
Yeah.
Can ADL have fields that are from an external data source to TT as some code running on Amazon Cloud?
Sorry, I'm not following that question. There's a couple of things going on that may be part of this question. First of all, part of the question is can ADL be driven from an outside source?
Yes.
Certainly.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you launch the algo from the algo dashboard, you can link directly from Excel, and you can drive it from data inputs from Excel. We are also planning to offer an API on the front end, such that you can drive your algos directly from an API from an external source. Yes.
Okay. What is happening with the trade is take and trade is hit issue in this new version?
Sorry, I'm not following. It is an issue.
Are you talking about? Are you talking the BrokerTech functionality? Or you're talking about whether the last trade that went through from time and sales was an actual aggressive buy, aggressive sell?
I'm
talking
not.
about a
He says correct. That's correct. What Patrick said.
Okay, but well, I said two things. Is the question about BrokerTech? Because that's a specific type of trading in BrokerTech, or is it a question about whether
a trade, for example, whether time and sales is a hit or a take? If you go into the message info log, you'll find.
Yeah, well, there's the is buy. Well, that's
Go
it.
to
That's
the
it.
message extract.
Well, I'm going to open up a new block real quick. Yeah, no, I got it.
So there's
Trade is take.
Trade is take. This trade is hit. I mean, the feature is here. If someone is referring to an issue that exists,
Yes, it looks like they're there, but they're not working in the delayed environment as of last Friday.
Okay. I would make a note of that. If whoever provided the comment wants to contact me directly, I'll be happy to follow up on this and let you know when we have resolution to it.
Okay.
My name is Andrew Reynolds. I'm the product manager for ADL. So I can give you, or you, to myself, Pat Rooney, either way, we'll follow up on the issue.
Okay. I sent them to your contact page.
Okay.
Cool.
So hopefully they can leave an email and they can get it to you.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and if they discover an issue like that, hopefully they filed a ticket on it. Anyone can always enter a ticket on TT, and it's really easy to do. You just got to click on the support button right here and click on send feedback, and you can send feedback that quickly. And those tickets are seen by Andrew and myself, the entire product team, all of engineering. We all have access to them, so we see any type of tickets as they come across. So they're acted upon quickly.
Okay. Is there any kind of classes offered for traders who have no experience with this but want to learn it?
What I'll tell you is there are outside providers that will do that, and if you go through the users forum that we have, you will see that there are consultants in the forum who do offer classes. Trading Technologies does not offer classes. We don't try and teach people how to build algos. There's a lot of reasons behind that, but there are outside consultants you can find in the ADL community that will assist you with that.
Okay. On Twitter, you mentioned latency speeds for auto spreader. Does those speeds apply to ADL algos as well?
The current latencies that we're seeing in production for ADL are slightly above those of AutoSpreader. AutoSpreader is a very specific tailored algorithm. However, we are making performance changes as we speak. We're rolling some in production this weekend, and in the coming month or so, we'll be rolling even more into production. And we will approach the speeds that are presented for AutoSpreader.
Okay. I think that is all the questions at the moment.
Okay. That's fine. We can go through, build another little quick algo or something if you like.
Okay. Okay. What is the typical ADL algo latency? Is it below 1 microsecond?
What do you mean by algo latency? I mean, requote latencies. How are they talking? Requote latencies, hedge latencies. I mean, what exactly are people referring to? What's the?
It just says what is the typical ADL algo latency.
I mean, look, if you've got a very large algo and you're building in a large amount of complex logic, for a very simple algo, requote latencies on ADL that we've been seeing are actually, we've got some performance enhancements rolling out this weekend that will drop those below 100 microseconds. Those are requote latencies. This is a very simple algo that basically takes in a price and reprices an order. So these are the kind of latencies we're seeing now, and again, we'll be dropping those further in coming months. So I'm assuming that's what people are looking for.
Okay.
Anything else? I'm going to show something real quick, but again, it's even kind of minor compared to what we just did. It's much less elaborate, but it's a simple way to scale into the book real quick. You know, let's say that you want to go in and you want to scale into the email, you want to scale into crude, something like that. I kind of showed you a bit of a piece of this a little bit earlier, how to go get order book depth, but you do that for orders or for order book quantity depth. You do that for prices as well. But I can go in here and I can put my ask prices. Let's say I want to scale offer crude. I want to put offers out there at several different prices at the same time. You can build that real easy. I can go in and go to ask price, and I can go to index like I was doing before. I'm going to put this index at 0. The inside market, paste. I'll put this one, change this one to index. Put this one at 1 back. Okay. Copy, paste. Index. I'm going to go back a little further. I'll put this one at 3. I'll make this a user-defined. I'm also going to make this user-defined. I'm going to call this depth 1. Depth 1. Call this depth 2. I'm sorry, depth 0. And call this depth 2, depth 3, user defined. Make sure this one's also user defined. So what I can do, I'm going to put in a order block for each one of these. Order, change this over to sell. Sell. Move the contract over. Contract. Price. Quantity. Let me put this as 2. I'll make this as my order quantity. Order quantity. And again, this is just going to be a quick way to, let's say you want to get order report, or you want to put a bunch of orders real quick. Instead of clicking 3 times, put in 3 orders, you can do it on a single click with a little logo. It's kind of neat. So I need another order block. Copy. Paste. Same contract. Instrument. Price is not going to be this one. Quantity is going to be this guy. Copy down again. Copy. Paste. So now I've got 3 order blocks, and I'm going to want 3 actual orders put in here. Put in a quantity. Put in my instrument. Put in my price. I'm going to go File. Save. 3 orders, or 3 cells. 3 cells, save. I'm going to deploy this. Deploy. Go back to the sample workspace. I'll refresh this. Refresh the workspace. Refresh. CL. Go down to Fed. Like that. And there's no liquidity now, so actually it's going to be a problem. Yeah, I kind of need a book to do this, so I've got nothing to put it into right now, unfortunately. But what that algo is going to do is it's going to go in and actually scatter the order book, but I need actual orders in there already to get this in, so it's not going to fire the way I want right now. Huh? Andrew's claiming that the Boone has liquidity right now.
Yes, usually it's.
I'm the delayed environment. Okay. So I'm the delayed environment, so I can't get anything in there. So, but what that's going to do, that very simple algo, it's going to allow you to actually get. I might be able to put in here now. Limits. Actually, here's one I made earlier. There was 4 offers. See if it'll actually go in. No, I can't get it now. But again, that's just a simple way to stack the order book really quickly. It's a useful little feature. A lot of prop guys use that. They will actually get order book priority, so that's a quick way to do it. And what I was trying to show is the fact that that order entry type that I just built was built in, what, about 90 seconds. Really quick. And you're getting orders in a heck of a lot faster. You're never getting a point and click. So for order book priority features and things like that you need, it's real easy to do. See if I can I'll create one more real quick. We got time. You know, I've got next to no market, but CL. So this is order instrument. I want to have kind of an offer chaser right now. I'm going to take the ask price. I'm going to take the, I don't want that. I'm going to get the minimum tick quantity. I'm going to take the ask, and I'm going to add, and I'm going to multiply this by 2, because I want to be 2 ticks off the inside market. And what this is kind of, I call this like a book sweep pickup kind of order, where what we're going to do, I'm going to continuously quote the market 3 ticks off the market, and that's in hopes that someone's going to come and sweep, and the market goes back and refills. But they sweep, I'm going to get filled, and I'll stay there. So let me multiply this by I want to be 2 ticks deep. The number is going to be 2. So it's going to be ask price plus 2 ticks. I'm going to get the order block. This is going to be the sell side. Come on. Switch this over to sell. To my price. Instrument is going to be right here. Let's say my order quantity now is going to be whatever I want it to be. Quantity. I'll make this a 3 lot. And it's going to be user defined. Okay. File. Save. 3 tick off ask. Name my algo. Test it, run it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and deploy this. Deploy. I'm going to go back to my workspace. I'm going to refresh. Go back into Crude. And let's see if they'll get in there for me at this point. 3 tick off ask. 3 ticks. I'm going to make this 3 contracts. I'm going to click here. Yeah, it's not getting me into it because the market state right now, but you get the point. We got that in there, got that built, got that deployed, ready to launch in seconds. Less than a minute, really, if it went straight through. So building algos, building simple order entry algos like that takes next to no time. Even the round trip or algo that I built earlier really only took me, 15 minutes tops. So it's not that difficult, not that tricky. It's nowhere near as intense than a lot of people seem to think out there. Certainly encourage you to get in there. To get a demo account, to get in there and trade it, literally all you have to do is go into trade.tt, and I'm going to log out right now. Say it's a new account. In here, I'm going to say Patrick plus futesio@gmail.com. Create an account. First name Patrick. This is Pat Rooney. Create password by Andrew. Archer 49. Say you're not a robot. Click on create account. Oh, passwords don't work. Hold on. Yeah, my passwords don't. Oh, I know.
So effectively, ADL is a simple yet powerful tool for creating algos. You can do it quickly. You don't need a programmer to do it. The code that underlies all of the blocks has been completely tested by TT. As you proceed with your development within the canvas itself, if you attempt to do something such as, for example, create some sort of infinite loop that's going on, there's built-in logic within the canvas itself that will prevent you from doing such things. As a matter of fact, you won't even be able to deploy those algos. The canvas will show you the error, you'll be able to remediate the situation and to move on. One of the other big benefits is the fact that as you go ahead and develop your algo, obviously algos don't stay constant. You're constantly tweaking them all the time, whether they be input parameters or whether they be the logic of the algo itself. You're able to open the canvas and go ahead and tweak your algo, make changes to it, save copies of it, run different versions of it, all within fairly short order. And that's the power of ADL. And the simplicity actually hides some of the complexity that's underneath. But the fact of the matter is the complexity is hidden from the end user itself. And the code itself has been tested by us. All the code that's been generated under the covers, a lot of the race conditions and the complexities of dealing with the exchanges themselves has all been basically hidden from the end user. These are things that you don't need to concern yourselves with as you develop your algos. And again, the latencies are going to continue to drop on the algo server. Like I said, the release that we'll be rolling out this weekend. Requote times we're looking at sub 100 microsecond, and just let me clarify, that's system-wide end-to-end. So that's the time that from which a price update hits the TT system until the time at which the requote actually leaves the TT system. So that's end-to-end all the way through. And like I said, those numbers will be dropping in coming months as we continue to roll out even more performance enhancements. As you go along, if there are things that you're looking for, some enhancements, etc., feel free to reach out to us. The Use a Snap button is very easy to use, and we're always paying attention to your input to understand what your use cases are, what you need and why you need it. So feel free to reach out as you develop your algos for any suggestions or thoughts that you have.
One more thing I wanted to point out. All the algos that we built today were order ticket algos. Basically, they were order entry as well as order exit. What I just pulled up on the Algo Design Lab is called an order management algo, an OMA. So if you have an order that's resting in the marketplace and you want to put some logic on there, why would I do that? Well, this one right here is called a go-to inside. So essentially, let's say it's getting close to the close and you're bidding way out the market, 5 ticks out the market. You want to get to the inside market. This OMA would actually automatically do that. It will take you straight to the inside market. So if I'm bidding 5 ticks out the market, when this OMA is fired, you're now going to be the inside market. Other common OMAs are things like a tick away or something like that. So let's say you're bidding the marketplace and you're afraid that the offer is going to get huge. If the offer gets huge, the tick away would automatically tick you back. Let's say you were 15 bid, it'll tick you back to 14 bid. Very simple algo to build. And again, what it does you can apply that to an order that's already resting in the marketplace. So you don't even have to have that thought before you even enter the order. You enter the order, get order report, you do whatever you want to do, and then you can slap an OMA, an order management algo, on top of that to essentially manage your order that's resting at the marketplace, resting at the exchange. Okay.
All right, I have a couple questions real quick. Is there a way to do any kind of back testing with the algo once you create it against like historical data?
No.
Okay.
Testing currently right now is limited to live data. Back testing is something we are looking at doing. We're soliciting customer feedback right now with respect to what that would actually entail. Actually, back testing means a number of things to a number of different people. So we're soliciting feedback now, and that's something you can look forward to coming.
Okay.
Coming.
All right. And there's a question about TT SDK, if it's coming for a shared platform.
TT SDK is the C++ API that underlies ADL. This is something that will enable you to write directly to the API. Because you are writing your custom code, it will require a dedicated server. Currently in our platform, you can run ADL algos on shared servers, which we have at co-located facilities around the world, or you can choose to run your ADL algos on a dedicated server, and you can choose where you want these dedicated servers located. If you choose to write directly to the TT SDK, we will be requiring you to buy a dedicated server. The reason is because you're going to be writing custom code, and you are co-mingling directly in with our infrastructure. We need to provide a level of isolation between you and us, between you and everyone else for that matter. Everyone has to play well in the same sandbox, so there has to be some level of isolation. The latency cost of this isolation is basically about a microsecond, so it's not something that it's something we've taken great pains to make sure that you optimize.
Okay. Is there a way to export my algos from here and deploy them elsewhere?
Deploy them elsewhere basically these algos are specific for ADL.
Okay.
I mean, if you're writing algos directly in ADL, these are very specific to ADL. I'm not sure what format people are looking to export them for.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if there's a way you could export the code piece and move it to some other platform or system. I didn't know if that was a possibility or not.
I mean, it's really, ADL is really a custom tailored algo that TT offers, and we generate some very, very custom code under the covers that is, to be honest, is not really human readable. But it's tailored specifically to the platform that we have. The way that we achieve the latencies that we do is by tying it directly into the ADL directly in with the software solution, which is then tied directly into the hardware itself. In a number of cases, we actually bypass the operating system itself, for example, for market data, just to get the market data in a much more timely fashion to give us the kind of latencies that we're achieving.
Okay. Can they develop an algo in ADL and then lease it to other customers on the TT platform?
This is something we're actually looking to do. We actually have a number of customers that do this. Currently, today on the platform, when you deploy an algo, it is usable and visible only to you. We will, in 2017, we will offer the ability for you to share your algos. Now, what you choose to use as a criteria for sharing those algos is strictly up to you. If you want to charge for them, in which case you would share them with the user, that's fine. That would be up to you. So yes, this is something we will be offering.
Okay, so it's kind of like an algo store that you can go and peruse through what's available.
Store, yeah, I mean, it's something we talked about. An algo store would effectively advertise all algos in the TT system that you would demarcate as potentially publicly shareable.
Okay.
So yes, it's effectively would be an algo store. Yes.
Okay.
We've been having these discussions for a while.
If you were to share the algo, would they be able to view the source of the algo?
That would be strictly up to you. The way we're going to offer is you'll be able to share an algo as execute only.
Okay.
Or you'll be able to offer share the algo as execute plus read, in which case if you offered it as a read, the ability for them to view the source, well then users could certainly view the source at that point. That would be up to you.
Okay. And then this will be the last question. Is there any way to pass an external signal to ADL for trade management, say from like NinjaTrader or some other, NinjaScript or some other platform?
Well, again, I think that goes back to the point that someone asked with respect to how do you drive some piece of data into the algo externally.
Yes.
Currently today in production, we allow you to set up Excel links, so to link from Excel directly into the algo dashboard. People drive it that way. Coming soon, we are going to offer a client-side API that will enable you to connect in any way that you see fit to drive algos programmatically as well.
Okay. Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you all for the demonstration and the info today. I personally, I think I'm gonna go get an account and start playing with this because it looks pretty interesting.
It's a lot of fun. I'm being perfectly honest. It is fun to play.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Patrick, and everyone for the webinar.
Fantastic. Thanks, Terry. Take care, everybody.